Hey, welcome everyone. This is 3 and 2 Big Count Baseball Podcast. I'm your host, Blaine Arsenault, and this is our fourth coach's interview. I'm sorry, and my co-host today, Jordan Taylor. What's going on, Jordan?
Blaine, what's going on, my man? I mean, I'm a little fired up right now to talk to Coach Picard, but we got to see a little baseball get in underway today. We've seen some big boys go at it. Barb and Sam Houston went at it, and then you had Live Oak and Benton. Just got me a little fired up to call a baseball game tomorrow at Ross Granger Field, and we got the head baseball coach here sitting with us. So, hey, I'm fired up. We got the semifinals. Tickets will be punched to Sulphur this weekend. What can we say? High school baseball at its best.
Yeah, and you just mentioned it. We got a head baseball coach at Erath High School, Jeremy Picard. How's it going, Coach?
Good, guys. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, let's get started. Coach, let's talk about your background, playing, coaching. Where did it all start?
So I'm a high school graduate of Eva High School. From there, I played junior college baseball in California. Came home after that after a year and got straight into coaching. My first coaching gig was an assistant baseball coach at Vermilion Catholic. Worked as a student assistant at Magny State University. Coached at Bossier Parish Community College, St. Thomas More, Barb for a semester, and then I've been at Erath High School for since 2011. So I've been around a little bit, made some good stops, learned from some good people, and it's been good. Been a good journey.
Yes, sir. What was the reason that you got into coaching? Was it playing days was over with, or was it that?
It was basically, I've played baseball, been around baseball since I could crawl. Once my baseball playing days were over, I was ready to get into coaching to just make a difference, make an impact on young men's lives, and just be a special part of something special, kind of like we are right now.
Sure.
Coach, here we go again, my man. We're back in the same situation we were last week. This weather sucks, but baseball will heat up this weekend. What's the mindset going into this week, knowing you were in this same position last week? You had to make some changes. You had to get a dang helicopter in here to play some baseball. But here we are a week later, same situation. What's the plans? What's the backup plans? What's going on? I mean, is there anything right now, or is it we'll find out in 24 hours like the rest of everyone?
No, we're just taking it one day at a time. I mean, we're going to handle it as it comes our way. Our kids have been great at handling changes, handling adversity. We're just going to take it day by day. I mean, two weeks ago, we're playing Mamu. We got the field ready, calling for rain. Look at the forecast. It's 100%. Didn't get a drop.
Mm-hmm.
This past Friday playing Gina, we tarp. Look all the way around. All around us looks like we're going to get pounded with rain. Ends up we don't. Saturday ends up beautiful. So, we're just hoping for the best. We hope we show up tomorrow. Kids can pull the tarp. I mean, it was evident last week that our kids want to play at home. So we're going to do what we can to make sure Ross Granger Field is ready for, a really good series against a really good South Bow team.
Coach, speaking of South Bow, and they've done a tremendous job over there, the state champs a year ago, right back into the semifinals. Your thoughts on South Bow? You saw them earlier in the year, but that's earlier in the year. Both teams are different as we go into the semifinals. What do they bring to the table? What really stands out in your opinion?
I mean, South Bow's the state champs. If somebody knocks them off, they're the Division III state champs. Coach DeVille does a great job with the squad. I mean, they're, when you talk about Division III baseball, they're kind of the them and Sterlington have been there. That's where we want to be. We want to be in the same conversation. I think we've done that this year. But we know the team we saw about a month or so ago is not the same team that's going to show up this weekend. I mean, we're prepared for a battle, a really good baseball series between two really good baseball teams, and we hope it's good for everybody that's involved in watching this series.
Coach, it's been a historical season for y'all thus far. I think it's the first time y'all made it to the semis. what's the mindset of the kids like going into this series this week?
Our coach has been talking about it since April. I think it was April 10th, April 14th, our last regular season game against Notre Dame. Since then, we haven't figured it out, but they flipped the switch. We've had 4 weeks of our best practice all year long. I think, our seniors have kind of figured out that, they're going to lead this team and guide these young men to, what you're seeing now. And it's huge part to our kids just buying in, playing the game the right way, playing hard, and just trusting in everything we've been teaching. And we've been able to, put it all together these last 4 weeks.
How is this team this year different from any other team you had in the past, if any difference at all?
I think the one big difference is experience. We returned, we had a couple key injuries last year. We won 24 games last year, but we lost 2 or 3 guys. Our starting second baseman, Dominic Frederick, has been a starter for us for 4 years, and he played, the series last year with basically a broken hand. Didn't really know it till it was over, but, we had another key injury last year. We've stayed healthy, for the first time in several years. We've been healthy, and we returned 5 to 6 guys that were in the lineup last year in the playoffs, and a couple guys that have been there since they're freshmen. So I think the key difference is the experience that we return in our lineup, both offensively and defensively.
What does this senior class mean to you, Coach? They've been with you for 4 years. They get in the semifinal trip this year. What does that mean to you?
And it's a special class. I got here. I took over the job in 2016. I stepped away for 2 years. When I returned in 22, they were our freshman class. So they've been with me since I returned. They bought into what we've been teaching, what we've been doing. And, it's a very special senior class of 7 special young men. We have 4 that are in the lineup every day, but those other 3 guys are just as special. We have, guys come off the bench, guys that are just, great teammates and do great things. And I think those 7 guys are a really key part of what's going on right now.
Jordan?
Coach, I got to ask you about the final stretch of this season. You said the guys turned on the switch at that last game, but I got to ask you, that 6-game stretch to end the season, my man, you got 4 of the 6 still left in the playoffs. How important was that to you guys, knowing that you went through that stretch to end the season before you said the flip of the switch?
As the old saying goes, iron sharpens iron. Our schedule from top to bottom all year long. We opened up with Sulphur. Sulphur going into the season was a top-ranked team. We played 3 very good teams at the end of the year that helped prepare our guys for what we're doing right now. There were a point in time where I think our kids had some rough patches, but they overcame some adversity. And I think now they're realizing the schedule we played, you're talking about the Vermilion Catholics and the Catholic Highs and the Covenant Christians. Those are all guys that are compete for a state championship. And I think it's prepared us and made us, battle tested and ready for what we're doing right now.
Coach, speaking of the last game of the year, it was a phenomenal game that you put on paper, and you guys took care of business. I got to ask you, the Notre Dame win, Coach, in your opinion, was it the difference between playing home this week or being on the road this week?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I think those last 4 games, we picked up the Covenant Christian game late. Notre Dame at the time, I want to say going into the end of the season, looking at it, I think we played 5 teams that were in the top 5 or better in their respective division. And I think by taking care of business at the end, it allowed us to jump South Bow and be a 2 seed and host this weekend instead of traveling to South Bow instead.
Coach, what can you tell me about Seth Leger? I know he's been your guy all year long, but what does it mean to have him on your staff?
Seth Leger is a special young man. It makes me say his name and it just makes me smile. He's been our guy for 4 years. He came in as a freshman, didn't know much about him. We kind of learned as we went. Ended up at the end of the year, he was our number 1. Seth's, he battled through some injuries. His sophomore year, he had a little arm injury. We didn't have him for a while. He had a knee injury. So this is really, since his freshman year, the first year that he's been fully healthy and fully able to do things that he's been doing. I always say it, and it's come up a lot lately. Seth Leger just does Seth Leger things. Whether it's at the plate, whether it's, on the mound, our demeanor behind Seth was totally different. And I'm glad that guys have learned – that we can win with other guys on the mound. But early on, it was okay, Seth's on the mound, we got a chance. And then they started to learn and grow and understand that, this is a total team effort. But, like I said, Seth Leger is a special man, special young man, and LSU Alexandria, after he graduates, is getting a really good one.
Yeah. And you got another guy right behind him in LD Duron. That's another good kid. I've been watching him since travel ball, and he does wonderful things for you as well.
Yeah, he was a designated hitter for us all year as a freshman last year. I think what LD has done is LD's grown up. LD's matured. LD's figured some things out as of late, as you guys saw last weekend. And as we continue to progress, he's starting to figure things out, and he's got a chance to be very special for us as well. Like I said, we were able to, and fortunate enough that we had a bunch of seniors last year that we didn't have to throw him in the fire right away. We could allow him to develop, progress, and get to where he is today. And as the steps he's been taking, he continues to get better each day out, continues to mature, and continues to do some really good things. And I'm excited to have him for 2 more years.
Jordan.
Coach, I'm going to piggyback off the pitching staff for a second. So speaking of Seth Leger, he's a senior, right?
Yeah, he's a senior, correct.
Okay. So piggybacking off the pitching staff real quick, Seth Leger, final time taking the bump tomorrow at Ross Granger. What do you think that's going to mean as he takes the his final time there? And also, you're back healthy in the entire pitching staff. What has that meant as you make your run here?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. I mean, Seth's, like you said, going to take the mound for the last time at Ross Granger Field this weekend, no matter the outcome. And he's going to get the ball, and he deserves it. And it's going to be a little it's going to be a little tough to see him on that mound for the last time, but it's going to be very fun to watch him compete in the semifinals. I mean, something we've never done before, and something he's got the opportunity to do, and say, he 25 years down the road that he had the opportunity to be the first guy to start game 1 in the semifinals. We have Braxton Richards, a senior, going into the year. He was our number 2. He got hurt. Couldn't pitch the second week of the season. We're finally getting him back. So he's going to have opportunity also to hopefully get the ball at some point in relief or wherever it may be and pitch that final time at Ross Granger Field. But, yeah, like you said, it's the first time in a while, a couple weeks actually a couple months that our entire pitching staff is healthy and able to give us some innings in this playoff run.
And Coach, we saw Talon Landry for the first time last weekend, a 1-hit shutout. I mean, what has he meant coming into and keeping your shortstop right there in game 2 at shortstop?
Yeah, that was a huge performance from Talon, but we expect nothing less. I mean, Talon's been pitched for us all year long. We had a couple injuries early. We need him to step up and be a guy for us, and he's done that. I mean, he's been extraordinary on the mound. He threw a shutout against Notre Dame. We were fortunate enough not to have to use him round 2, and we needed him to, step up round 3 and be the number 2 starter for that weekend. And the numbers speak for itself. Talon did a tremendous job, gave us an opportunity to win, and through lights out. I mean, did exactly what we needed him to do. One
more, Blaine, real quick before I pass it back over to you. Coach, you're 9-1-2 in the lineup. We just talked about them on the mound, but you're 9-1-2. Coach, they give a lot of teams problems with their speed and the ability to go small ball and the quality of bats that they take. You know about the big boppers in the middle of the lineup, but that 9-1-2 really has given teams problems since I've seen y'all in this playoff run.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, though. I mean, those guys are also capable of going, hitting ball out the park as well. Hit a double. You saw Braxton Richard, our 2-hole, hit an inside the park home run. Landon Lemaire has the opportunity every swing to hit a ball out the yard. I mean, while they're giving teams fits, we're fortunate enough to play a little small ball, but allow them to kind of hit balls in the gaps and do some things for us, put some pressure on teams, and that's what they've done. They have done a good job of a little small ball putting pressure, but when we needed that big hit, like I said, I mean, Braxton got that big hit in the second game where he hit that ball in the gap and was able to score a few runs for us. So, we're fortunate right now. We're playing very well all phases of the game. I mean, hopefully that doesn't stop. But while those guys, again, speed kills. I mean, absolutely, they can put pressure on you, but they can also hit that 2-run double, get on base, and allow those guys in the middle of our order to do some damage.
Yeah.
How was the kids' mindset at practice, Coach? Were they locked in, ready to go?
Since I was last year, we got a 4 seed, we got a bye. It was a little different for our kids. We really didn't know how to handle it. I think I fault myself. We probably tried to do a little too much instead of staying true to what we've been doing. So this year we've that bye week came, and for the last 4 weeks they have been locked in, and I've had the best 4 weeks of practice we've seen all year long. I think they got towards the end, and it was okay. We're going to be. We're going to be in the playoffs. It kind of got to where let's just get this. They just want to get the regular season over. And I think when it finally came, and after that Notre Dame game, they just turned it up another notch. I mean, they ended up, like I said, the focus has been unbelievable. The practice has been unbelievable. And you can tell that mindset has changed, and they have one goal in mind. And hopefully, we can get that done this weekend versus a very good South Bowl team.
Yeah. Coach, the last couple of weekends I've been at your ballpark, man, I just got to say the community, they back you for sure. Y'all got a great atmosphere over there. Everybody's cheering. They're doing their job. Y'all got a really good backing over there.
Yeah, the community of Erath is second to none. I mean, if you want to see great fan support and people that just believe in these young men, no matter if it's football, baseball, basketball, doesn't matter. You can count on people from Erath to pack the stadium, pack the football field, pack the baseball field, and that's what they're doing. I mean, our kids earned the right to be here for 4 weeks, home games, home series in the 4th round, and I guarantee you this weekend will be even better. These people are like I said, they're unbelievable. We asked them to come out here and work on the field. They're here with blowers. They're here with, whatever it is to make this thing right for these kids. They're going to do it. And that community here is just second to none.
Yeah, we got a comment right here. Jared Erath is blessed to have Picard as head coach.
Well, I mean, I'm blessed to have it. I'm blessed to be in Erath. I mean, it's been a great thing for me, a great deal since I've been here, and I couldn't ask for a better place to be with, the support between the community, the administration, and everybody in between. It's just been a great, few years.
Jordan.
Coach, let's go back to 2016, your first year here. The team. I met a couple of those players that played for your first ever team that are back here supporting this year's team. When you see former players come back like that, even from the very first team, what does it speak about this program? What does it mean to you personally?
It means a lot. I mean, it means a lot to these kids. I mean, they bought into us. In 2016, I came in as a coach with a lot of assistant coach experience, never head coaching experience, and they believed in everything we did. And I mean, it's I get text messages every week since we've been kind of on this run from former players, congratulating us, wishing us the best. And, kind of funny story. You saw some of those 2016 kids. We lost in the 3rd round to a very good South Bowl team. And those guys are excited to see, this matchup and excited to see, what's going on. But it's always an honor, and I love to see kids that come back and still take pride in the program that, I mean, let's be honest, since 2016, these kids have helped build that foundation to allow us to be where we are today. So they are more just as important as the 2025 roster, the 24, the 23. I mean, these guys set that foundation to allow us to do some big things.
Yeah. Coach, I want you to at this time and this coaching staff and what they've done this season, and I'm not sure how long they've been a part of the staff, but what have they meant to the program at this time? If you'd like to talk about your coaching staff.
I mean, we wouldn't be here without my 3 assistant coaches. I mean, I just kind of guide the ship. Those guys do a lot of the work. I mean, from the field maintenance to the practices to, I'm very fortunate to have those 3 guys. Coach Miguez has been with me since I took over in 2016. I think he stepped away maybe 1 year. I mean, what can you say about Coach Pilet? Coach Pilet is Erath. He's Mr. Erath. I mean, he's been here for 40 somewhat years. Special guy. I mean, he kind of. We talked at the end of the game last week, and he kind of teared up because this is his first time he's ever been in a semifinal. and he's been here for 43 years. So it's real special to him. Coach Price came aboard in 2022 when I took over, and he's been a tremendous asset. He works with our catchers, but he'll do anything you ask him. I mean, it's an unselfish group of coaches that I love to have, and I'm very fortunate to have. And where we are today is because of those three guys.
Coach, I want to take it back a little bit. I was 16, I think. You started the Team Louisiana Travel Organization.
Actually, that was started in 2011.
11. Okay, I'm sorry. And you basically got you're top notch at in Louisiana for the office baseball organization. I'm sorry, speeches. But I want to say I modeled my organization after you. So what you do with your kids, high school, you and all that is second to none.
I appreciate it. I mean, we came to Erath in 2011, and at the time there was just nothing to help promote kids. There was, they had several travel ball organizations. I felt got away from teaching the young kids fundamentals and helping the old kids find avenues to play college baseball. Now, since 2011, the recruiting world has gone crazy. It's totally different than it was 5 years ago. But I think what we've built has allowed kids to develop, progress, and be prepared for their high school program. Our youth program, my main concern was getting each kid ready for whatever high school they were going to make that high school team, to be prepared for their high school coach. And then once they got to our high school program, help those kids do anything and everything I could in my power to continue to play baseball at the next level if they choose.
Yeah, and you're doing that. I lost track of the number of guys that signed next level or got drafted, but you're doing a great job over there. I never got the chance to tell you that, and I want to tell you that now.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It means a lot.
Appreciate it. Jordan?
Coach, I want to talk about a couple players on this roster. I'm going to start off with Brennan Broussard behind the plate. Can you talk to me about his growth and what you've seen from him really commanding that shit behind the plate and catching some really good arms?
Again, now you say certain name. I mean, you say any kid's name, and it's gonna make me smile on this roster. But Brennan Broussard, special. I mean, Brennan Broussard came in as a freshman, a little raw behind it, raw with some things he needed to do, get better. Come his sophomore year, he was in the lineup for us. Unfortunately, he broke his hand, out for the remainder of the year, and then he put in the work. And his junior year, he's never looked back. I mean, he's been our guy. I mean, if we played, I don't know, in the last 2 years, I'm going to say 60-somewhat games. He's caught 60-somewhat games. He's been a mainstay for us in the middle of our lineup. He's been, I like to – coaches call me and ask about, our players, whether it's college coaches, whatever. I think Brennan Broussard is one of the best catchers I've seen, and probably one of, if not the best catcher to come through this program in a long time. And he's a leader. He's finally starting. It took a while, but he's finally starting to take charge, show some leadership, and do what he needs to do behind the plate. And I think a lot of guys are taking off and following him and following a few other of our guys, and it's paying off.
Coach, let's go to the middle of your infield. Landon Duran and Dominic Frederick. First off, Duran, talk to me about his work ethic to get to this point. And it seems like every time I watch him play, he just seems like a created player on MLB The Show, Coach. I'm so impressed with Landon Duran every time I see him. And Dominic Frederick, when we were walking out the parking lot, I told you, man, that kid plays with a motor.
Yeah. Dominic has been a starter for us for 4 years. He's steady Eddie, man. He's going to play defense. I haven't seen a second baseman play better defense than him. He's going to do the little things for us. He's not afraid to lay down the bunt or hit and run, or he's very unselfish, and he does what he needs to do, and he's a great teammate. And, like I talked about earlier, with Landon's only a sophomore. I tend, even last year, to forget, man, he went through a stretch where he struggled a little bit, but I had to kind of remind myself that, hey, he's a freshman. Kid's 14, 15 years old. He's going to struggle. There's going to be some bumps along the way. There's going to be some things that he's got to figure out. We were fortunate last year, like I said, to allow him to only focus on hitting. We started a senior last year at short, so we didn't have to rush him in to play short and deal with, handling defense and swinging the bat. He was able to focus on one thing. This year, he's matured. He's gotten the weight room. He's worked his tail off. And it's, he's reaping the benefits right now for all the hard work he's been putting in.
Coach, I think Jardy said it a couple weeks ago. 1 through 9, everybody does a job. Everybody can hit. Everybody lays down a bunt. I don't think it's a flaw in your lineup, and that's a testament to you and your coaching staff.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And it took some doing. I mean, it took a while for them to buy into the little things, to bunt the baseball, to move runners over, runner at second, less than 2 outs, just put the ball on the ground. It took a while for them to buy into that. And once they bought into that, I mean, the rest is history. Like I said earlier, Talon Landry, Landon Lemaire, Braxton Richard can lay down a bunt and run, but they can also put a ball off the wall if they need be. I mean, watching these guys 1 through 9, and even a couple other ones, watching them take BP, it can be pretty impressive. That they can barrel up some baseballs, and then they can, like I said, they can do the little things. So it's been a combination of everything these last 4 weeks that have made our guys fun to be around, fun to watch, and I'm just hoping that we continue to play baseball the way we've been playing for the last couple of weeks.
We got a question here from Devin. Who's the toughest team y'all faced this season?
Man, take a number. You look at our schedule. I can go down from the Covenant Christians to the St. Thomas Moores to the Covingtons to the Haughtons and I'm probably missing a bunch of teams. I mean, we've played some really good baseball teams. It just depends. We saw Houghton. We lost to Houghton 3-2. I think Houghton was a really good baseball team. We beat a Sulphur team in Sulphur that made a tremendous run this year in the playoffs. And I'm sure I'm missing somebody, but I got to say, top to bottom, one of the toughest teams we played all year long, and the score dictated that was Covenant Christian. St. Thomas More was good, but I think Covenant Christian they got after it, played the game really hard, and they're 35-0, 36-0 for a reason. But like I said, I mean, you can go down the list, and we've played. Like you said, you can look at the schedule right now, the brackets right now, and there's probably at least one team in every division that we played in our schedule. From the St. Thomas Moores to the Covenant Christians to Catholic New Iberia to, we beat Edie White. Edie White won. I saw they won today. They're in the semis. They won game 1, in the semifinals. So there's a lot of good baseball teams we played this year that's, again, prepared us for where we are right now.
Yeah, I looked at your schedule. Y'all didn't shy away from competition. Y'all went after it. Y'all competed in every game y'all played.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, we went from a stretch, and I want to say, we played North Vermillion. We lost 2 out of 3 North Vermillion. We went to Shreveport, and man, that was a tough trip. We went to Shreveport, lost lost to Northwood. We lost to Covington. We lost to Calvary Baptist. We went 0-3 in that tournament, came back, and I think we lost another one. We lost 8 straight, but we lost some very good baseball teams, 1-run game, 2-run game. I think it helped our kids figure out a lot about themselves. We had a lot of adversity middle of the year, but I think they learned to overcome that adversity, and we went on a run, I want to say a stretch of 13, 14 straight wins. And I think the turning point in our season was when our kids came back from Shreveport. We kind of did a little soul searching, and they figured out that, hey, we can play with anybody. We just gotta do things a little different. And I think that's when they started buying in to a lot of things that you see now.
George.
Coach, I haven't been around all season, but I've been blessed to see the last couple of weeks. And I've noticed through the second, third time through the lineup, it seems like the guys go and make in-game adjustments. What have you seen from your lineup to be able to shake off those first couple of bats and then come and figure it out midway through?
And it's been rough. I mean, early in the year, again, I'm blessed to have great assistant coaches. Coach Miguez has taken over our hitting for us, and we had to make those guys understand that we can't make the adjustments for you. Early on, they were scared to make adjustments on their own. They were waiting for us to make adjustments for them. When they understood that, hey, you got to think, you got to make adjustments, on the run right then and there. Now they're able to figure it out. They may have a batted bat. They may, chase a pitch they shouldn't have, but they'll come back in. They'll kind of talk amongst each other, and they'll figure it out next at bat. They'll kind of figure out what they need to see, what they saw, and the changes they may need to make, on the fly, so to speak.
Coach, when we talked in post game on Saturday, and we talked leading up to that point, it was about getting over the quarterfinal hump, and you guys did that. I told you to smile that day. How soon did the team and yourself go back to work? Was it a 24-hour rule, or was it as soon as the lights were on, we went back to work?
Well, for me, it was Sunday. It was Saturday evening. I enjoyed it. I mean, our kids deserve it, man. Our kids, we pushed our kids, so hard. We worked them. We've done things with them that, maybe others don't do, but we tested that breaking point. Early on, we pushed them past a couple breaking points, kind of made sure they were comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I hope that they enjoyed it. I think they enjoyed it and kind of, till Monday. But as far as myself and our coaches, we enjoyed it. We've never been there before. We took it all in, but we realized, hey, we set a goal at the beginning of the year, and our goal is to be in Sulphur and hopefully, holding up that trophy. And we got to get ready and prepare for a very, very good South Bow team that's been there. I mean, they were there last year. They won a state championship. I think they were in the semis in 23 or close to it. And, like I said, Coach DeVille, he's been there several times. He's going to do a great job. He has his kids prepared. So we had to, as a coaching staff, turn the page and look forward and prepare ourselves for, we plan to see a tough 3-game series versus a very good South Bow team.
Coach, are we bringing in extra bleachers? Because South Bow, my goodness, are they going to travel? And I know all of Erath is going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, we're maxed out. I mean, we brought in all the bleachers we could last week. I mean, we're going to, hopefully it's standing room only. Hopefully there's no room to stand. I mean, we brought in bleachers from the girls softball. We brought in extra set of bleachers down the line. So we brought in all we could bring, and hopefully, it's packed again. Like I said, I mean, South Bows, they made it to semifinals again. They deserve a great crowd. Our kids have never been there. We get to play in Erath. Our kids deserve a great crowd. I think that the community of Erath deserves a great baseball atmosphere, and these kids deserve so much more.
Coach, what will it mean to this team, this community, yourself, if you go get 2 wins this weekend and you're punch your ticket to Sulphur?
I mean, it's going to mean everything. When I got here, I'm thankful that I was able to take over a program run by Coach Jordan, who's now back at Catholic High. So when he left, I mean, the program was kind of on the upswing. Made it to the second round a couple of times. When I took over in 16, we finally made it to the third round. Now in 25, we finally turned that corner and got over the hump. And I think it's time for this program to get over that next hump and hope, get to a state championship. And I think if we can do that, it's going to be unbelievable for these kids, for this community. The town of Erath, this Erath High School, and everybody involved. People that aren't here anymore that took a chance on me in 2016 that allowed me the opportunity to do the things we've done. And I think this program has kind of done some special things since 2016. So I guess, to answer your question, it's going to be very special. It would be very special if we have that opportunity to hopefully take 2 this weekend and advance.
Coach, earlier you listed your whole coaching background. Mm-hmm. So you've been around a long time. So do you have any advice for like new coaches or up and coming coaches? The one thing I can say is, never think you know everything. Never stop learning. I've been coaching. I had the opportunity. I started coaching at Vermillion Catholic when I was 19 years old.
And ever since then, I mean, I've been coaching almost 30 years, whether it's in college or high school, and I'm always calling, I'm always reaching out, I'm always talking to anybody and everybody I can to learn. Never be satisfied, continue to learn, listen. I mean, it doesn't matter who it is. I mean, be receptive, be open to anybody that wants to talk baseball with you. And I've also learned that listen to your kids. I mean, there's some things they don't know, some things they may know, but be open, be honest with those kids, and don't be afraid to be hard. Now in this day and age, it's kind of a society where we're afraid, we're scared, we don't want to tell. Those kids will respect you that much more if you hold them accountable and you make them, aware of the aspirations and the guidelines in your program. I think we've set standards for these kids. I think they appreciate it a lot more, that we just don't let them just kind of do as they wish. So again, just, demand a lot of your program, demand a lot out of your kids, and they're going to be better for it down the road. And just always remember, at some point, these kids are going to be done with baseball. So you're also preparing them for life after baseball. So just, continue to be open, be honest, and have an open relationship with the kids you have. And, like I said, as a coach, never stop learning, continue to ask questions, and, again, never stop learning.
Jordy, you got anything before I wrap this up?
Yeah, Coach, I got two things for you. I thought Blaine was going to ask this question, but I'm going to bring it up at this time. Okay. Just a few short years ago, we were sitting in the semifinals in Sulphur, and it was a one game get you to the title game. Now rules have changed where semis are being played at home, and now it's a best of three series. So your thoughts on that, those changes here recently? I know it's great to have semifinal baseball here at Ross Granger. And are you a one game guy, or you like this 3-game format all the way through?
I love the 3-game format. I think it allows the better team to win more often than not. I think in one game, I remember a couple years ago, I think it was Barb got knocked off by a 30 seed, 31 seed, 32 seed, just because he had one guy. I think this allows the best overall team to compete and play for a state championship. You may have one or two series here and there where maybe the better team doesn't win, but more often than not, the better team's going to advance. The better two teams in each division will be playing for a state championship when it's all said and done.
Yeah. And what about semifinal baseball?
I'm sorry, Jordan. Let me.
Go ahead.
I agree with you, Coach, because the year we went to the quarterfinals of 21, we was a 19 seed. And in the second round, would have played the 3 seed Live Oak, and they got bounced by the 30 seed as well. So best 2 out of 3 is a perfect match, I think.
Absolutely.
And Coach, semifinals a few short years ago were played in Sulphur. Now they're played at home sites. What about that? I mean, that has to be something that you enjoying for the first time.
I'd love to enjoy it, but right now, between the weather and everything else, it's just tough to just, hone in and be in the moment. But I think once the lights come on and we're able to play here, and these kids, like I always tell them, take a second, let's take it all in. I mean, this may never happen again. I mean, our seniors, win or lose, this is their last time they get to play in Erath. So I'm hoping that they, while they're going to be locked in and focused, there's no doubt, I hope to take a minute to look around and appreciate the people that have been supporting them for so long, and the people that continue to believe in them, believe in these kids, believe in the town of Erath, believe in Erath baseball, football, whatever it is. I hope those kids can take that in, because it's not very often. Actually, I don't know the last time that, semifinals was held in Vermilion Parish. I want to say probably back in the 1990s, because it's been in Sulphur for so long, or wherever it was hosted, that this is a special moment for those kids. And I hope that, like I said, I hope that all of them can take it in, because 20 years down the road, they're not going to talk about much, but they're going to talk about, man, that semifinal series in Erath, that was something special. And I think it's just something for these kids to live and enjoy and remember for years to come.
Coach, last thing from me. First off, shout out to the PA now. So we'll see you tomorrow, my friend. I'm sure he's watching right now. And lastly, I know you've been in touch with all my good friends down the right field line. So what's give us a
don't forget about that cooking crew. That cooking crew is going to take care of you. From
give us
DJ Frederick to Kyle Luquette to Chris Hebert to Clint Champagne, you name it. You can get one thing. You won't leave Erath hungry. You know, those guys do a great job. They take care of you guys and everybody else. And you know, they're I can't say enough. You know, that cooking crew down the right field line is a special one for sure.
Shout out to the PA announcer. Shout out to the right field cooking crew. Can't wait to see everybody tomorrow.
Coach, I just want to say thanks for coming in tonight. I really appreciate sitting down and talking to you about baseball and about your past history in coaching. And good luck this week.
Thanks, guys. I mean, I just want to say one thing too. Thank you guys also. I mean, as a baseball guy, it's good to see, you know, high school baseball getting a little notice and you know, from the under the lights to Blaine, you bringing in high school coaches. It's good to see that high school baseball, especially in this area, is getting recognition. I mean, you guys, please keep continuing what you're doing. And if I can do anything to help you guys, don't hesitate to ask.
Absolutely. Thanks again. If y'all ain't busy this weekend, guys, go travel down to Erath, where Erath Bobcats facing South Bowl Knights in the semifinals in Division III non-select with a chance to go to the championship. And if you can't get there, you can tune in on Facebook or Under the Lights with Jordan Taylor and myself. We'll be there tomorrow to stream Game 1.
Yep. Friday night, 6 o'clock. Gates will open at 4 o'clock. Better be early to find a seat because there's going to be jam-packed with Bobcats and Knights ready to cheer on their baseball teams.
Yes, sir. Coach Picard, thanks again for coming in. I'll see everyone soon.
All right, guys. Thank y'all.
Thank you.